Thank you very much for traveling all the way to somewhere that is a little bit further from where we usually have our meetings, outside of Tampines. And I really appreciate all of you for being here with us tonight. We even have our Visiting Toastmasters Hoxing, who was very proactive, step up, pick up. So thank you very much for being here. So just like Shan, my costume is a pregnant woman. Yes. And unfortunately, I cannot get out of this costume until probably 2 months later. Yeah, so this is the thing about it. So not much effort on my part, but I do applaud. You know, our immediate past president, Tui, she is, what's that? Queen of Elves name? And then we had the Grim Reaper who stood in front of me like that just now, and I was thinking that, okay, it's time. Is it time already? Time to eat, yes. But since we are on the theme of Halloween for tonight, for my opening address, I thought I wanted to address a little something that all of us can relate to. Fear. Right? Because when we think about Halloween, we think about something that's fearful, spooky, something that scares us. So I thought, why not talk a little bit about fear? Maybe our deepest, darkest fear. So before I do that, quick question. How many of us here today join Toastmasters because we think we have a fear of public speaking? Well, most of us, right? What if I tell you that the fear of public speaking is just a symptom of something that is deep? Deep right here. Let me come to why I had such a big name. So for a little bit of context, in the past couple of months, I've actually spent a bit more time in isolation and introspection, calling myself out of certain undesirable habits or traits that I have unfortunately adopted. And some people say, you're pregnant, it's hormonal, but I refuse to accept that as an excuse. So I was doing a lot of introspection, and I asked myself a lot of questions, a lot of why questions, peeling back layers. And you know what happens when you peel onions, right? Layers of onions, you cry. So yes, I'm already hormonal and peeling back layers, and I continue to cry. But it is also liberating because it got me to think about why I do things the way I do things. So it got me to discover one deep, dark secret that I have, or deepest, darkest fear that I have. The fear of inadequacy. Who can relate? Alright? The fear of never being enough. That is my deepest fear. I always think that I am never going to be good enough for anything, anyone, for whatever I do. And that's why I tend to overcompensate. Any of you share the same sentiments? You take things after another. Very hard to say no because why? We are suffering from this little insecurity that we have. The fear of people discovering that actually we are not all that. So that was my fear. And that got me to realize that I have been overwhelming myself, taking on a lot of responsibilities and roles that at first I loved very much. But along the way, I asked myself, how is this helping me, or how is this pushing me in a certain direction that I want to grow? Right? So that brings me back to thinking about all the way back to 2017 when I first joined Toastmasters. Like you, well, I didn't really have a fear of public speaking, but I wanted to work on this thing called sales presentation. I was in the sales industry. I really want to do well in sales. So I joined AIA Toastmasters Club back then, our sister club back then, in 2017. Along the way, I realized that while it did help me, it did not take away the underlying or the nagging feeling of still not being able to do my sales presentation well. Because the symptom was taken away. I could present slightly better than maybe what I was doing before I joined Toastmasters. But it didn't resolve the deep symptom. That is the feeling that never ever been enough. Right? And then later, a few years later, let me see, 5 years later, 2022, I chanced upon this wonderful, amazing club called Tampines Changkat Toastmasters. Have you heard of that club before? Right. Yeah, I've been told that it's one of the best clubs in Singapore. In case you don't already know, it's one of the top clubs, Toastmaster club in Singapore. You didn't hear it from me, you can go and Google the reviews, it's there. I promise you. And with Changkat, what I was looking for was something different. I was looking for things to fill up that void. Once again, still looking for opportunities as to where I can showcase myself, prove myself to people. And that's how I became the club president of Tampines Junction. I think one of the things that I want to do today is also be vulnerable, which was actually one of the things that I sat down and introspected and asked myself, have I been the best club president for Tampines Junction thus far?
Yes.
Yes. Woo! That's a very sweet. This I cried again. But in reality, I realized I haven't actually been giving my best because I'm always thinking about what I have not done instead of acknowledging the things I've already done. That's good so far. You see, that's the challenge with having the fear of inadequacy. We keep thinking in scarcity. We haven't done enough, haven't done enough, haven't done enough. We forget to acknowledge how far we have actually come along to get to where we are. So, I think in summary, what I want to say to most of our friends here today is, I know you could be looking at some of your peers, they join later, they join sooner, they get to a certain level in their pathway, they're already EXCO members, so on and so forth. Everybody works at their own pace. Everybody has things that we desire that's supposed to spur us, get us excited, and get us to fulfill objectives, our individual objectives. So perhaps you want to clear a pathway, 2 pathways, and become the end. By all means, go ahead, work with your timeline. Perhaps you want to work on your leadership, so you decide to join EXCO team. By the way, we are always recruiting for EXCO, just to let you all know. We are already preparing for terms ahead. So yes, if you are having such thoughts, we are always welcome to have a conversation with us. Yeah. So if you think that maybe you want to be